Hello friends, I'm very happy to see you, and as you can see it's October and we are gonna celebrate Thanksgiving soon, and I was gonna make a pumpkin cake because I love pumpkin, as you have seen in my other videos, but Walmart made a mistake and they delivered me the wrong order for another person. So today, instead of making a pumpkin cake, we're gonna make pumpkin pie, the classic pumpkin pie. And I'm gonna show you my version, but we're gonna use these ones. It's a flaky pastry dough that it's ready. It's already ready at the mold, but if you don't get this one, I can show you the recipe in another video. Just let me know if you would like it. It looks very good. Before making this recipe, you need to thaw the pies because it's harder to make them from frozen. So I let it thaw the night before, so as you can see they are not frozen anymore and they are very pretty. You can make your own dough and have fun, but also if you want something quick, this is a good second option. We are gonna preheat the oven. It's preheating as you can see, but we need it to be at 340 degrees. We are gonna use 1 can of pumpkin. This is just pumpkin, no pumpkin filling, because we're gonna make the filling. But this is the perfect amount. For 1 pie, you need 400 grams. But for 2 pies, you need the whole can. It's 800 grams. And I'm gonna put it in a bowl. I have my pumpkin puree here. Now we need 2 eggs and 6 yolks inside. Also, it was funny, Walmart made the mistake and gave me the pie crust because I actually had all the stuff for making the pie. It's very similar to the cake I wanted to make for this channel, but sometimes you need to be creative and do what you can do, because the other way I would have kept that until maybe Christmas. So it was a fun way of changing things. And I have just enough eggs for this recipe. So yeah, we need 2 full eggs and 6 yolks. I'm gonna have 1 extra egg, and I'm gonna save the egg whites for breakfast. You don't need to throw them. That's a good way for recycling the eggs. I like to do omelettes or stuff with the egg whites. So here I have the pumpkin puree, the eggs, and a lot of egg yolks, as you can see, but it's very good because these are gonna make our pie very rich and dense and creamy. And here I have the egg whites. I'm gonna use them tomorrow for breakfast. Now I'm gonna add 1 cup of brown sugar. I got this one. This is very good. It's raw sugar from Guyana. I got this one the time I went to Cirque du Soleil. I'm gonna leave you my video if you want to watch it in my other channel, but yeah, I got this sugar and it's very good. And it's 1 cup. The oven is hot now, so I'm gonna bake them for 15 minutes. Now we're gonna add half cup of regular sugar. I like this recipe because it's not overly sweet. It may look like a lot of sugar, but it's for 2 pies. Now I'm gonna use a whole tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice for the filling, and if you don't have these pumpkin spices, you can substitute it for just cinnamon, or you can make your own at home. Sometimes it's not on stores because a lot of people buy it, but you can make it with cinnamon, ginger, some cloves. I'm gonna show you another time for this channel, but yeah, we're gonna use 1 full tablespoon of pumpkin spices. I'm gonna add the salt. If you do half recipe, it's half teaspoon, but for a full 2 pie recipe, it's 1 teaspoon of salt. I have a tablespoon of vanilla. If you wonder why my vanilla is so clear, my boyfriend got it from República Dominicana, and that's a good tip I would give you. It's always nice to get ingredients for cooking when you can. All ingredients taste a little bit different depending where you get them, so I like to try ingredients from all over the world. Crusts are ready. As you can see, they are not fully cooked because we're gonna cook all together the next time. Now I'm gonna let them cool a little bit while I finish the filling. Now we're gonna make a mixture of creams, and first we're gonna start with whipping cream. No sugar added, just whipping cream. Here we have 300, and you can do 318, but we actually need 320 grams of whipping cream. Now we need evaporated milk. And we're gonna use the full can, it's 354 milliliters, and we're gonna add it here. We need 680 grams of liquid in total, so I'm just gonna take 8 grams. You could leave them, I don't think it's gonna make that much difference, but just to make sure. I do this mixture with cream and evaporated milk to make the pie more rich. But if you don't have whipping cream and you just have evaporated milk, that's fine, you can make it. That's kind of the classical recipe with just evaporated milk, but the whipping cream gives a more richer texture. So maybe try it both ways and tell me which one you like better. But I love this version with cream. We have all the ingredients inside, and now I'm just gonna mix until it's perfectly mixed, and then we can fill the pies. I have mixed it, and as you can see, the texture is denser and it smells really good. And as I told you, I like this recipe, it's not overly sweet, so it's perfect for a Thanksgiving or any autumn day. I really like this recipe. Now we're gonna fill it. You can use a spoon so it's easier. And yeah, just fill them. This part is fun. It's almost ready, we just need to bake it after this, and that's it. And you can top it with whipping cream. That's how I used to eat them in Mexico, because there's a bakery I like that is called Maque, and they would make these special packages with pumpkin pie, cream, whipping cream, and cookies. They were kind of maple cookies. It was nice to make it with my family because you got the pie and then you decorate it with your family. And yeah, so I'm gonna bake this, and probably tomorrow at Thanksgiving we can decorate it with whipping cream and maybe some cookies. So yeah, it's a fun activity, like a hobby to bake when you have time. Just a little bit more. We don't want it too full, just enough. I think that's good. I'm guiding myself with these lines, so I think that's perfect. It's so pretty. As you saw, I baked the crust in this pan, but I'm afraid it can spill if I bake the two together, so I'm gonna use 2 trays. This is the other one. Sometimes you need to be creative at the kitchen, but there's always a way to fixing things. Also, I follow a YouTuber that makes Halloween cakes, and sometimes that's the fun part about Halloween stuff in general. It's easier to fix if there's a problem. As long as it looks terrific, you're fine. So now they're ready to bake. I'm gonna cook them for 25 minutes at 340 Fahrenheit. Depends on your oven, but sometimes it would need more. Give it like from 5 to 10 minutes extra and check again. But yeah, 25 minutes should be usually enough. They look, as I told you, I divided them between 2 molds, so I'm sure they are not gonna spill or anything. The pumpkin pie crust from Walmart, apparently they were small, because when I make this recipe I usually have enough and perfect, but I had extra. But no worry, I'm gonna show you how to make a flan, a pumpkin flan. Here we're gonna turn on the fire a little more than medium, and we're gonna add half a cup of sugar, regular sugar. We're gonna add 1.5 tablespoons of water, and we let it cook. Cook it around 5 to 6 minutes. Ideally we shouldn't touch this, but if it starts burning on a side, then we can mix it a little bit, but the less you touch it, it's better. Bubbling, but it's fine. Oh, I also lowered the temperature now that it's cooking. I like to cook it at medium heat, and just leave it until it gets brownish. It's very hot, don't touch it because it will be like 200 degrees Celsius and you can get injured really bad. It's getting very hard, so I'm just gonna move it a little bit so it doesn't get stuck, but don't worry, the sugar will melt. While this is ready, this is the mold I'm gonna use. You don't need to do anything to it, just wait until the caramel is ready. But we don't need to use flour or anything. You can see the caramel is getting brown little by little. Starting to melt. Now you can move your sugar a little bit around, because as you can see, some is cooking faster than other crystals. So I'm gonna move it a little bit so it's even and nothing burns, but just a little bit. You don't want to do it too much. It's getting a nice golden color and our pie is still cooking. So it's perfect, we can use the time, and also I washed some dishes so you can clean the kitchen and do everything while you cook. Almost ready, we just want those pieces to melt, and when you think it's almost ready, it's time, because if you do it until it's ready, then it burns. It cooks very fast, so I like to leave it like in a maple golden color because it's gonna get darker instead of cooking it until it's dark and then it's gonna be black. It's perfect. Now I'm gonna take it to the mold. Be very careful. I'm showing you the best I can with a hand, but this is very dangerous because it is very hot, and as you can see the color is so beautiful. Don't cook it until it's ready. Cook it like 1 second before it's ready. And then we are gonna move it around. We need to do this fast because it's gonna get cold pretty fast. And try not to touch the borders with the caramel. As you can see, I'm just holding the tip. So yeah, let's cover our mold. That's it. As you can see, it's already cold. Well, not cold, but like hard enough so we can leave it alone. And we need to wait for it to be completely cold until we put the mixture inside. Completely cold, as you can see, I can touch it. Don't touch it when it's hot, but it's very pretty once it's cold. It's so tiny. I'm gonna add the extra puree here. I'm just gonna measure it for reference if you want to just make the flan, but if you have extra custard, it doesn't matter. Just it's gonna change the baking time. We're gonna bake it in something called baño Maria. I don't remember how the name is in English, but the point is you cook it in water. I'll show you. But yes, now I'm gonna pour it. I mixed it a little bit before, and now I'm gonna pour it. Yes, it was perfect. Sometimes it's funny, it's like this is absolutely perfect, like if I just wanted to make flan. But yeah, if for future reference for a mold like this for bread, it's 720 grams approximate. Now I'm gonna cover this with aluminium. Try with one hand. I'll show you how it looks after. That's how it should look. Now we can bake it. Pies are ready. This is a recipe my friend gave me. She is from a cruise, and I modified it a little bit. Like, she has other spices. I like to make it with pumpkin spice, but the temperature for her recipe and the cooking time is 25 minutes at 340 Celsius. But I think there's something wrong with my boyfriend's oven. And as I told you, add 10 more minutes and 10 more minutes and 10 more minutes until it's done. And this is the consistency. I don't know if you can see it. It's slightly wobbly at the center. And I cooked it for 1 whole hour. But that's how it should look. It's still like not dry. And it's firm. That's all you need in a pie. You can see it a little better. It's a little wobbly, but we are gonna leave it alone for 2 hours, so it's gonna set. You can't cut it right now because you're gonna make a mess. It's gonna be more like a fluffy mousse custard instead of a pie. That's why we need to leave it alone for 2 hours. Actually, my Thanksgiving dinner is tomorrow, so I'm gonna leave it alone for the whole day. I have my 2 pies and they look very nice. I'm very happy with my pies. If you have like not so pretty borders like this, you can just cover it with some whipping cream. That's something nice you can do with this. You can make it pretty very easily. So as you can see, I'm gonna leave it alone here, not covered or anything, while I make the flan, because as you saw, this was in a mold, but we're gonna use that mold now. Here I have my flan, well, the custard, and I'm gonna fill it with water until half pan. And then we're gonna bake it for 1 whole hour. If you have less custard, as I had 720 grams, but if you have half, you could try to bake it for 40 minutes and check. But if you have more or less the amount I have, 720 grams, you're gonna cook it for 1 whole hour at 340 Fahrenheit. There's a little steam because it's hot. That's the mold we use for the pies. But now, as you can see, I filled half of the container, touching half of the mold with water, and now we're gonna bake it for 1 hour. It should look, and I want to bake it for the full hour without moving it because, as you can see, it's a little hard to manipulate it. So yeah, 1 hour, and I'll see you later. So now they look ready. They were resting for 1 hour and a half. I'm gonna cover them with aluminum paper and gonna try them tomorrow. If you make it the same day you want to eat them, just make them early so the custard have time to set. Leave them in the fridge and eat them tomorrow. I don't have enough aluminum paper. I prefer aluminum paper, but if you don't have, plastic paper is fine. This is how the flan looks like. It's like a present. There's two ways of knowing it's ready. You can wobble it a little bit, and it needs to be a little wobbly, but not like water. Or another thing I do is just touch it very subtle, and if it bounces back, like you feel it's thick instead of just watery, then it's ready. And the middle, it's usually watery, more watery than the borders, but if the border it's thick enough to bounce your finger back, then it's ready. It looks amazing. I'm gonna try it tomorrow. And this one, you need to wait for the next day because, as you see, it's still wobbly. It needs to set, and for that it needs to be all night in the fridge.